Joe Rogan endorses Donald Trump. Did you hear about Joe Rogan's endorsement? Okay, so it wasn't an outright endorsement, but that's kind of the clickbait that a lot of the news headlines are using, and that's probably what I'll title this video. But let's talk about what this is and exactly what happened, and let's talk about why. Now, here's the thing about Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's a very reasonable human being. I mean, he's totally reasonable. And by the way, hang tight to the end of this video, and I'm going to show you how you can earn a passive income. But why is this important to understand? Because if you understand what's going on politically, then you can make a much more informed decision about your own finances. So Joe Rogan explains why he'd vote for Trump over Biden. I don't think he can handle anything. This is very interesting, and I'm going to show you a couple of news clips here in a moment, or a couple of the spots where Joe Biden is talking, and you can just see for yourself. If you've ever wanted to see, like, by the way, this is about Joe Biden and primarily the Democrat Party, but I'm an equal opportunity offender, so I'll get to that here in a moment. So Joe Rogan, the hugely popular podcast host, UFC commentator, and comedian, shared with his listeners on Friday why he would rather vote for President Donald Trump than former Vice President Joe Biden. I can't vote for that guy, Rogan said of Biden on his podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience. I'd rather vote for Trump than him. I don't think he can handle anything. They're relying entirely on his cabinet. If you want to talk about an individual leader who can communicate, he can't do that. And we don't know what the F he'll be like after a year in office. Joe Rogan, so this is someone shared it on Twitter, but this is actually, let's listen to this. Okay, so that's not an outright endorsement, obviously, but does Joe Rogan have a point here? If you've not seen this before, it's concerning to me. What's most concerning to me, by the way, this is because, if you're not aware, it's because Bernie Sanders basically ended his campaign. But to me, if you ever wanted to see corruption that exists in politics, I think all you have to do is look at Donald Trump and Joe Biden. And I say that with all sincerity. And listen, I'm not one of these people that, Trump is the Messiah, or, Democrat Party and Biden are the Messiah. I do tend to favor the individual and individual rights and freedoms and liberties. So place me wherever you want to. But I can definitely look at both sides and see problems here. And if you tell me that Donald Trump is the best that the Republican Party has to offer in a candidate or in a president, of 300 million citizens, some of the highest level of academics, some of the highest level of politically savvy, the leadership skills and qualities, the type of leaders that have risen up out of America. I mean, just surely because we have one of the largest populations on the planet, by the way, not just because it's American imperialism, but we have a track record of some pretty incredible human beings coming out of America. And you're telling me the best people that we can find to lead our country is Donald Trump or this guy. Listen to what Joe Biden says. Like, the guy is literally unsafe, I think, to be president. Because I think that he would be a puppet to whoever his advisors are. Because I do think there's some sort of possible Alzheimer's or dementia setting in. Let's listen.
Bad dude. And he ran. Why? You're getting nervous, man. And Corn Pop was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys.
I'm not sedentary. I don't. I get up and no, let him go. Let him go. Look, the reason I'm running is because I've been around a long time and I know more than most people know. And I can get things done. That's why I'm running. And you want to check my shape on, let's do push-ups together here, man. Let's run. Let's do whatever you want to do. Let's take the pizza.
You ever been to a caucus? No, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier. You said you were. Make sure make sure you have the record player on at night, the phone. And so he was up on the board, wouldn't listen to me. I said, hey, Esther, you, off the board, or I'll come up and drag you off. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. I'm beginning to see why your wife left you. And he cut off a 6-foot length of chain. He folded up. He said, you walk out with that chain. And you walk to the car and say, you may cut me, man, but I'm going to wrap this chain around your head. If you agree with me, go to Joe 30330 and help me in this fight.
He was supposed to be giving out a website right there. Like some of these clips were him just basically being a bit of a bully, and Donald Trump is accused of the same thing. That's neither here nor there. That's just the nature of politics in this day and age. And I have a whole video coming up where Ray Dalio talks about why politics are becoming that way. But you can subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for that. But here's the thing. Some of this stuff, like, come help me out, 30003. What was he going at? Like, and it would, if it was one time, you could say, hey, maybe nerves got to him. Maybe it was the moment. Maybe he just lost a train of thought. But it's repeated over and over again. And here's a video clip. Now, Sky News here is clearly, this anchor anyway, is clearly biased against the Democrat Party. And you've got to always be able to recognize bias on both sides. But the clips that they show are legitimate clips. Watch this.
At how well the 77-year-old is traveling.
Look, tomorrow's Superstar Tuesday, and I want to thank you all. I tell you what, I'm rushing ahead, aren't I? 150 million people have been killed since 2007 when Bernie voted to exempt the gun manufacturers from liability. It would put 720 million women back in the workforce. Nobody should be in jail for a nonviolent crime. My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. What's not to like about Vermont in terms of the beauty of it? And what a neat town. Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. We choose science over fiction. We choose truth over facts. Think about it. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
You know the thing.
The thing.
The thing.
Oh, praise the thing.
Now, Biden's decline didn't start during this campaign. It's a testament to the media, aka from highlighting this.
One of the things I'm proudest of is getting passed, getting moved, getting control of the Paris Climate Accord. I'm the guy that came back after meeting with Deng Xiaoping and making the case that I believe China would join if we put pressure on them. You had people like you had people like the former chairman and leader of the party in Germany.
You missed the best bit. You're trying to read out a phone.
So here's the thing, like, it's the guy, his mental capacity, like, his politics aside, you can like his politics or dislike his politics, but I mean, and that part of what Joe Rogan was getting at is, now you put him in the office, you put him in a crucible of the stress of the presidency, and how's he going to make it? Ladies and gentlemen, I got to ask you this again. Think to yourself, 300 million people on this planet, people from every walks of background, experience, leadership capabilities, communication styles, and you're telling me that Joe Biden is the absolute best that we have to offer the Democratic Party. I mean, that, if you've ever seen if you ever thought for a moment that politics, there was manipulation in politics and that you were given binary choices on purpose, I mean, it's just unreal. Now, why is this important? Because it's important to understand from the left to right, this channel, Crypto Wealth, that's the name of this channel, right? And I'll talk to you about how you can create some passive income here in a moment. Bear with me. Okay, if you understand that, if you think about the left and the right, and you understand politics, then you recognize that so often, I had a lawyer, he basically had a diagram in his office, and basically what it showed was that whether you vote for the left or the right, you're still headed north. No matter what, it's a different way of getting there. And if you want proof of this, then you just need to recognize, for example, all the talk about cryptocurrencies and why I believe in cryptocurrencies, because I believe that we're headed in a position where we're not going to have any other choice but have cryptocurrencies basically being the way to be able to, being we're going to have a currency that can't be manipulated by government, because governments on the left and the right will manipulate currencies. All you have to do is look at, things like Donald Trump. Go back to Barack Obama. Barack Obama absolutely trampled on top of civil liberties in the name of national security. Yet he gets a free pass by almost all the civil liberty organizations outside of the ACLU. They did come after him a little bit, but I mean, he got a free pass by all the Democrats that were pro civil liberties. Why? Because we'd rather vote for our guy than vote for that guy. And the same thing with the Republicans. You know, Republicans are uber conservative. A few years ago, they had the Tea Party. They were going to cut taxes, decrease spending, so on and so forth. Then you get Donald Trump in office, even before the $2 trillion stimulus. Even before the stimulus, you get Donald Trump in office, and lo and behold, you know, he's spending like a drunken sailor. He's outspending Obama, which all the Republicans said was horrible. He was spending too fast, and people, you know, the Democrats were spending, and someone should stop them. And you know, you can't stop the Democrats. Then they have a Democratic elected president and a Democratic president, and you just can't stop them. And they're just going to put the whole country into debt. Yet here's Trump. He's outspending Obama already, and Obama had 2 terms. I mean, he's outspending, not even including the pandemic stimulus, by the way, not even including that $2 trillion stimulus. But he gets a free pass. I'm telling you, we're being manipulated by politics in this country, and it's important to understand and to be able to at least be aware. And I'm not talking about some sort of conspiracy theories, and there's a difference in being logical, recognizing there's a problem, and then jumping off the conspiracy bandwagon and going all the way into left field. Because, and I should make a whole video about that. But when you have a conspiracy theory, you basically have an idea, and you look for facts to corroborate your idea. But when you know something's not right and you see corruption, you can always look at the facts and recognize, hey, where is this going? Where is this going from here? Ray Dalio has a great series or a great article on his website, principles.com. And in my next video, I'm going to be breaking down part of that for you and talking about more about who Ray Dalio is. In fact, I'm probably going to put out 2 or 3 videos talking about who he is, why you should be paying attention to him, and I think he makes a great use case for cryptocurrency. All right, enough of that. You want to find out how you can earn some passive income? How can you start earning today? Crypto Passive Profits newsletter, free crypto passive income newsletter. Start earning with your very first email. Get daily emails and teach you everything. Full email support provided. Literally, once you get subscribed, you'll get a confirmation email. Feel free to confirm. If you have any questions, you can just reply to any of my emails to get in contact with me. I typically reply back, sometimes within a few minutes, typically within 24 hours. Thank you so much for watching the video today, and let's see where this goes. I mean, I don't know how Donald Trump loses the election, to be honest with you. I literally cannot imagine how Joe Biden wins the election, and I don't know that he should win because I don't know. I mean, of all the issues, a lot of people like to, you know, talk about Donald Trump being unhinged, but at least mentally you could argue that he's capable to handle the stress, if nothing else. I just don't even know that Joe Biden is capable of handling the stress. How did we get to this place that, you know, Donald Trump literally is probably going to go unchallenged? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. Stay tuned for more.